It's on. There you go, Jim.
All right, we're back on the Chop Shop. Audio technical difficulties on today, and you guys just bear with us. It's one of, I guess it's a throwback type of day on the Chop Shop. This type of stuff happened a lot when we were at in the radio stations because they had a low internet, but we both have high speed and have our own mark on both of our speed reads. And so that's what we had to do during this break. So now we're back, and now let's continue the conversation. We're waiting on a lot of guys to load on up, and meanwhile you guys can share the show once more.
Yeah,
that way you can get some of your friends and your timelines back on for this good conversation.
Yeah, we back live.
And I see some of you guys out there. Just say something so we know that you are there.
We back live. Let's see. I don't see no comments yet.
Now, before we get back and we get into the amateur hoops segment of the Chop Shop, we'll open up.
You good, Jim?
All right, we're good. We mentioned a while ago about Bryce Drew being named the head coach at Grand Canyon. Now, many people thought that Damon Stoudemire name was circulating out there, as a possibility because, played in Arizona is right down the road from Grand Canyon.
Interesting.
45 minutes or so. But Bryce Drew is the name that they went with. Remember, he just coached at Vanderbilt up until like a year or so ago. And when he got fired, and then I think, what's my guy, the former NBA player, took over at Vanderbilt. What's his name?
Jerry Stackhouse.
So now a lot of college jobs, a lot more will come open over the next couple of weeks, as it does at this point in time of the season. Normally, it leads into the Final Four, which is going to be really, really different. No Final Four this year. It's been called out in case you didn't know, no Final Four. So Atlanta was the destination. And not on top of the coronavirus concerns, the economy, anytime the Final Four is being taken away, it doesn't just affect Atlanta. It will affect New Orleans as well, because that was the home of the women's Final Four this year. So expect both of those cities to be automatically placed on the next round, which will be, I think they're 5 years out right now, of the upcoming location. Expect them to automatically get granted Atlanta and New Orleans, the boys and girls respectively, within, I think, 5 years out. I know Houston has it, I think in 2023, the Final Four for the men's will be coming back to H-Town. And that's only 2 years removed from the next one that they will be having. I know a lot of teams are probably feeling really, really some kind of way because this year the Final Four was about as wide open as it has been in a number of years. Yes, Kansas, and yes, Gonzaga. You guys can feel away, but think about it. Kansas and Baylor, they split this year.
And Jimmy, what about Dayton having a banner year?
Yeah, that's what I'm getting to.
Okay.
Baylor and Kansas split, so Kansas just beat them it was a last possession, last second type finish. So, but Gonzaga, mind you, their schedule hasn't been as thick as a Kansas or a Baylor this year. Florida State.
Yes.
I think they won the ACC for the first time. This is a black head coach. Leonard Hamilton he's been the Bum Phillips of the ACC. He's been knocking on the door, kicking on the door. Now this year, Florida State was really primed to make a run this year.
Keep going.
And it was so wide open. And which made it good because I think Las Vegas said there was over $400 million that has already been wagered on the Final Four in casino books collectively. $400 million already. That's before the tournament. Now, a lot of people they lay their bets down once the brackets are there, and of course the odds are adjusted accordingly. But there will be no 68 team bracket. A lot of people were pushing for that. That is not going to happen, and rightfully so. You know why? Because some tournaments had been completed, some tournaments hadn't even started. So that would be kind of disrespectful, if anything, to do that many. To sit there and you can do your own bracket if you want, but I mean, but that's the right thing to do. It's just one of those things. It's not. This is 2020 will never be forgotten in the history of mankind because of the impact economically. And speaking of impact economically, that means if you follow economics to any magnitude, this is the prime stage, meaning that all of the vitals are prevalent for a deep recession from our economy. Remember, Dow Jones Industrial Average, the DJIA, had just topped out with an all-time high just within the past month. Now, all businesses have to restructure their earnings calculations for the second quarter.
And I'm going to tell you what's so unique about that. During the other recession in 2008, the sporting industry was the only industry wasn't affected. Them players still got paid. Those owners still got paid. People kept going to those arenas. Players never, ever got affected. But this particular time, with this particular virus, sporting, think about it, Jimmy. Back in 2008, my players were still getting paid. Everybody was still getting paid. It didn't stop the entertainment industry. People were still going out and going to places. This particular situation right here is different. And guess what, Jimmy? Dow Jones was dropping even before this happened.
Yeah. I mean, and then Friday, of course, it recovered because for every sell-off, there's an opportunity for other buyers to come in and grab shares, buy low, sell high from what they deem a dip. They know they're expecting them to recover a lot of times. But the economy is going to take a hit. Think about it. In Houston alone, yesterday, the mayor of this city, along with the county judge, announced that all restaurants to be closed unless you have drive-through only. All bars are closed.
Is it just drive-through, or it's always takeout? I thought it was takeout. You just couldn't have customers come in there and sit, but I thought you can go in and carry out.
That may be true on the restaurants. That may be true on the restaurants. Takeout only.
Did you hear what the judge said, though, Jimmy?
I know the bars are closed.
Jimmy, did you hear what the judge said, though?
She
said she rode around the city this weekend. You remember I told you I rode around the city? The judge rode around the city this weekend, Jimmy. And she said people were just going on life as usual. So they had to do something. Because people were just going around like, if she went where I went, I know she said, oh my goodness.
And you have to understand, I saw what the mayor said as well on yesterday. And when she explained, say, listen, we're not on lockdown.
No, not yet.
We're not on lockdown. But I do know that as of this morning, the National Guard has been activated. And, in Texas by the governor. So that's one of the latest things that happened. But once again, remember one of my things last week, and I said, when we was talking about the spring ice break, people asking, I said, well, I'm looking at in the city of Houston, those same things apply to restaurants, to Chuck E. Cheese's, who their patrons are kids, and where's the energy towards the Chuck E. Cheese's and the it is a lot in the stores.
Jimmy, was energy. People just wasn't listening.
I'm talking about in abundance, whereas in abundance, the energy, for example, people writing letters to the mayor. And people counting and saying, well, this many people gonna go in there, this people go, the same type of energy from within that was concerned. And I understand that, but then my eyes were always looking, I say, well, whenever the city make a move to restrict attendance at the Galleria or the casinos or the nightclubs, then that was my threshold. And it came on yesterday morning. As you guys see it trickle down, and that was yesterday morning, we made the decision to not have the spring ice break. So it wasn't nothing more, nothing less. Just the common sense factor. I was looking at it and say, well, hell, if they get that serious, they're going to pull a plug. They're going to make restrictions for a lot of other stuff, not just this. And that's what we did.
The question is, that's what I'm saying. Some people thought like that, but some people were proactive. You were trying to be reactive. Some people were proactive because they realized how serious this thing was. And they were proactive in saying, okay, I'm not going to do this. I'm not going to do this. Because see what you had to do. If you talk to somebody overseas and they telling you the stages, these same stages happen in Italy. And that's the reason I can say this conviction, because I told you, my man sent me an email. And I was just sitting there saying, what? Okay. He said people were telling people, but 25% of the people were in, abiding by it, but 75% of Italy weren't thinking about it. So that's, and like you said, some people you want to be reactive. But the thing to get this, if we had been a little bit more proactive, even the government, think about this. When the NBA shut down, Adam Silver and them must have said, hold on, I got to stop. Something going on. And maybe they get more information than we don't get, Jimmy. And then when the UIL stopped, that's when I thought everybody would say, stop. Because I couldn't still think that, I was checking updates. Until I was about to get in that car. It's here now. So now we got to figure out how we gonna navigate our new normal now. We know what did happen. How we gonna matter of fact, I just talked to Brian Jolivet. And Jimmy, he said that his event is canceled. Off the Hook, April 3rd through 5th is postponed. Okay? April 3rd through 5th, the Off the Hook is postponed. But he did like to tell me, he said he got an event May the 1st through the 3rd. If all things go well, it's called the Houston Classic. Okay? Then after that, May 15 through 17, the Summer Prep Showcase. And I'll be posting some of this stuff later. That's May 15 through 17, Jimmy. Okay? Then in June, the June Jam. Then the National Summer Showcase. And then the summer finale. So... I'm sorry.
Now, one of the things I was telling you yesterday, I watched the presser with the mayor and the county judge and all of, and they mentioned as you said, all restaurants will be limited to takeout and delivery only.
Okay. Okay.
Right?
Okay.
They're takeout and delivery only.
Okay.
All bars and all bars, right, and nightclubs are closed in the Greater Houston area. Ditto for Austin, Texas.
Okay.
Now, one of the things that came up during the press, that's why my point I was going to get to, Al, is this. Remember I say about the energy, because a lot of people looking at other stuff. Okay, if you're going to close me, then why not close them? That's how it goes.
In business.
That's how it goes. Don't you think when these Chinese-owned restaurants, when they start feeling the hit, they was like, okay, well, people ain't coming to us. What about your soul food restaurants? What about these other restaurants? Then it trickles over. So now, here's what somebody asked the county judge, and they presented the question to her. And know what the question was? Well, if you're making these restrictions on the bars and nightclubs and restaurants, then why the hell ain't no restrictions on Topgolf or the movie theaters? She said, that's a very good question that I can't answer right now. This is what somebody asked her. Why the movie theater? So guess what happened?
The movie theaters got closed down.
Guess what happened?
What?
Last night, while you were sleeping overnight, by 3, 4 in the morning, AMC said, we're going to shut our door. Then Regal said, we're going to shut our door.
Okay.
Then the other chain, I can't think of it, they said, well, we're going to shut our door. So that's how the heat comes up. So now, here's what happened. Before that point, some people may have been said, may have been, may or not, the energy level. Well, man, y'all wrong for keeping y'all movie theaters open. You know kids going to come in these theaters because they can't go to school. You should be ashamed of yourself, AMC or Regal or whatever the name of the other chain is. Think about what I'm saying now. Fill in the blanks. Well, it used to be Spring Island. What about were they not ashamed of themselves? You know why you don't feel that way? Because it's business.
That's what I said. Them businesses. I ain't worried about no businesses. I'm talking about the people. Notice every time I talk about it, I'm talking about we got an option. Jimmy, I'm even talking about the way I answered the door today. I ain't never answered the door like that. We got an option as the people. Businesses, y'all do what the hell. Hey, I ain't stopped doing business now. Because all I got to do is pick up the phone. Hey, you see the NFL ain't stopped no business. You know, Jimmy, I don't know if you know this. The owners wanted to prolong it. You know, because business start tomorrow. Actual business day when everything can get finalized. NFL business year start tomorrow, right? Owners wanted to push it back. Player association and agents said, no. We don't need to be, because guess what they saying? Well, we can't fly nobody in. Tom Brady going to have to pick a team without flying in and talking to the team. These players pick teams without flying and seeing the teams. So it's a new normal. And I understand what you're saying. People all over you about, but it was business. And guess what? People with businesses understood you. People, the haters, you got to remember the haters got the loud voice, Jimmy. They might not say it, but they're going to get somebody else to say it. You follow me? You know, so somebody asked me a question, what I'm going to burden you with somebody texting me about. Nigga, you probably got more text. You don't need no more texts. Because guess what? You got an important decision to make. Think about what happened yesterday, y'all. You don't have to say it, Jimmy. The largest grassroots early event, one of the largest in the country, also happened to be African-American owned. He had people don't want their money back. I'm going to continue. Don't get my money back. 200 and something. It was business. It wasn't personal. Now, some people, well, it's the moral thing to do. Yes, but if it was your business, what would your behind do? I can understand you got a little mom and pop ice cream stand over there. You can afford to say, okay, I'm going to shut my thing down. But this man that had meetings after meeting over this month, that stuff is playing. How many gyms did you secure?
30.
30 different facilities.
Well, 30 courts, 10 different facilities.
10 different facilities. Not to get in no specifics, but don't deposits have to be made at these places?
At most of them, absolutely.
Okay. It's business. So you have to make a business decision. And after the smoke is cleared, you said something. People gonna hate you if you do it, if you didn't.
Exactly.
So, what I did, I went home and thought about my business. Thought about the people that I know in business. We were saying the same things. They were saying the same things. I got people that transport stuff. They got to watch how they transport stuff. Jimmy, have Federal Express said how they gonna deliver our packages?
I haven't checked on that yet, but I do know that I have a few other lists of things that are closed.
Right.
And I mentioned a while ago that the cry yesterday when they announced the city of Houston announced that all bars and clubs to be closed and all restaurants to be restricted to carry out and delivery.
Jimmy,
and
that hurts.
Yeah.
That hurts.
Yeah,
You know why?
And I understand. Understand. See, here's the thing: how it trinkles.
That hurts.
This is how it trinkles. This is where the business come in. And you have to understand, and you don't have to sympathize.
No.
That ain't for you. That's not what I'm asking. None of y'all do.
No.
Don't sympathize with me on my business. I'm just asking you to try to understand. Don't sympathize. Because the rent that those people have at those bars and nightclubs, is the owner going to give them a forbearance? That's the question. Or is the rent due? The first of the month is next week.
Yes, sir.
So is the rent still going to be due?
Yeah.
Right?
What about the mortgages?
The ones that own it, the mortgage is still going to be due. You see, so don't sympathize. Here's what happened yesterday. And I mentioned you, just in case you just tuned in the chop shop. During the presser, right, the county judge announced certain restrictions along with the mayor. Then somebody posed the question to her, which she had it on her notes. It wasn't, somebody posed the question, what about the movie theaters? Why, if you're closing them, then why not the movie theaters? And she says, her reply to all of the cameras was that, I really don't have an answer to that. That's a great question. Then, no. So that means the movie theaters knew at that moment they were under attack. Meaning that they knew that. So guess what? They started getting together, had meetings, and late last night. So then get what the movie theaters say. How about this thing go?
Top golf.
If you gonna, they went for something bigger. That was a small fish. They had bigger fish to fry. If you're gonna close our movie theaters, then why the hell are the gyms still being allowed to be frequented? See, that's bigger fish because now. So you mean to tell me you telling me to do this and do the 6 feet rule, but it's okay for me to go from sweaty ass machinery and go and sit there and sweat next to somebody while they doing this right. So that's okay. So guess what happens? They are under attack. So they get the emails and they get the fire. So know what they do? Guess what happens? They didn't have to do nothing. Guess what happened? Up in Washington, D.C., right? The White House come out late last night while we was asleep and sent out a memo that they were set to make it today, this morning, to recommend that no business, right, that has the interest in the gyms and all that stuff right there to be closed. But they beat them to the punch. So 24-hour fitness, Lifetime Fitness have now announced this morning that they have closed indefinitely. See, here's what's happening now. So now it's time. It gets serious. Because it really wasn't serious before. You letting them, that was the business. People look at that. But how you gonna close my hamburger stand, but Halle's Chicken House get to stay open across the street? That ain't gonna work like that, man.
I understand that. I mean, I believe you me. I understand that. I mean, that's anybody in business understood that. I know you was taking it because it was a tax toward you, and I understand that. And people didn't understand because other people was, well, I closed mine down. Yeah, you closed yours down.
Other people were having tournaments this past weekend in Houston. They held tournaments.
Right.
And I'm like, wait a minute. At some of the same locations that I'm using, they got tournaments going on. So understand, like I say, don't sympathize, but I'm just asking you guys to understand. And of course, Lionel Gar says on the Book Room, these closings have no actual legal way of being enforced at the moment. And I want to address that because I listened to the presser. I watched it yesterday. Okay. And that's not true.
It's not true.
They said that they will write citations.
Yes, sir.
Starting at $2,000.
That's right.
They're not trying to write citations. This is what the police chief said. One of the chiefs that was there, they had one from the sheriff's department and one from the police chief, said that they're not trying to write citations, but they will. They are prepared. Because if they come to you and you comply and you're trying to, but if you're not non-compliant, then it's starting at $2,000 and up per occurrence. So there is consequences for the choices.
And you know what's so unique? Because I keep hearing stuff, and I want somebody, and maybe somebody can explain to me. Somebody said the Turkey Head Hut is takeout only. What about the huge crowds outside standing in line? That use a dang fool. Use a dang. I just said dang. Use a dang fool for standing out there in line. You are a dang fool for standing out in line close to somebody. That's your behavior on that one, Jimmy. But then I saw something else. Golly. Somebody said something about all it is, a good sunny day come and this will go away. But Jimmy, Tom Hanks and his wife contracted it in Australia. Jimmy, it's summer in Australia right now. Been summer in Australia. So tell me where the hot climate gonna brush all this away. Then somebody just said Fundy is open, 11 to 5. Crazy. Mindy said her big pet peeve is when she in the gym and them sweaty people. That's why I don't go to public gyms no more, man. Don't do that. The scenery is nice, but don't do that. Lifetime closed last night. Golly.
Yeah, so guess Lifetime what? and 24-hour fitness.
Where's the young basketball players?
What somebody say? Fundy Recreation Center is open. But you go see.
I'm not going down there.
Once again, how can you, unless you, that's a city, a park and recreation. The city of Houston Parks and Rec owns the Fundy Recreation Center. That's part of that. That's not a YMCA. That's the city of Houston Park and Rec. So unless there's measures in place to take the temperature of the kids entering the building, then that's not consistent. That's not consistent. I understand the kids have to go somewhere, but they can go to the park. That means now, even though you own that property too, but it's still not enclosed under enclosure.
Jimmy, you got to realize people ain't going to get this correct. We expect for people to be perfect. This has never happened before.
But this is what the mayor said yesterday.
I
The mayor said
understand, but
that during the press. I'm just saying, the mayor said this is what what Sylvester Turner said in closing, because it wasn't his press conference. It was a collective from the county, and they had him there. It was a joint presser. He says, listen, why are people waiting on the government to tell you what you should be doing?
Wow.
Wait.
Bingo.
Why are you waiting on the government to tell you to wash your hands? You're waiting on the government to tell you not to sneeze with your hands instead of your arms. You're waiting on the government to tell you to not go and just do infrequent certain places in large gatherings. You wait on the government to tell you to enforce that. The government will only enforce that if and when they see that you are not in self-compliance.
Hello.
That's how stuff goes. So that's the mayor. The mayor, I had already heard. Remember, I got a call from the mayor's office yesterday morning, and the city councilman, what's the lady name? Letitia Plummer, the city council at large in Houston, called me this morning.
She won.
Yeah, she's the city council at large.
Wow.
So called yesterday morning about the spring icebreaker. And meanwhile, they volunteered. They said I get their help next year as well. That's how business goes. In case some of you guys out there wondering and sitting there holding it and hating, understand. Don't sympathize. I don't need this. I'm not asking.
Over now. If they worry about that.
Here's what. Speaking of the icebreaker, I'm proud to announce that it was 395 teams entered 1 week ago, right? 395 teams with approximately 400 teams in this event. We canceled the event on yesterday morning. Let me tell you, so you people wonder, well, I ain't seen Hicks, do a whole lot of updating on his website on rcssports.com. I hadn't seen him on social media a lot. Hell no, I ain't hiding.
Hold on, Jim. Hold on. Okay.
I'm taking care of business. And then taking care of business, you know what I've done, and I'm proud to announce?
Jimmy, stop. How's you hearing all this mess?
Well, some people might get something, they'll send it to me.
That's why I don't send you that mess, but keep going.
And they'll send me stuff, and they'll send it. Look, so, and I haven't been on social media. You guys know that. So here's the thing. Out of 395 teams, I have personally sent out the refunds to all of the teams except for about 18 of them, which I would do because I sent the email out and asked them to send the amount of which the method of which they paid, right? And a mailing address in case, because some will, depend on which method they paid, I will have to send them a check, right? It will go out in the mail immediately. Now, those 18 of those, as of this morning, before broadcast time, the Chop Shop, only 18 had yet to reply to the email that went out to them. So I sent another email out this morning to push it through some Roto-Rooter and remind them, hey, I got your bread, get it. My point is, I personally refunded over 350 teams not that many had already paid. That's how many was in.
Oh, okay.
Let's take that back. I had personally refunded over 200 teams that had paid, have personally got their refunds within 24 hours. That is unheard of. Nobody does that in this business. So for everybody that's thinking, well, damn. So for me to refund you, that means the money is there. So since you're counting and using your calculators to count the right pocket, understand, I got 3, 4, 5 pockets on every pair of pants out there.
Oh, he was going there. I'm going to let you go. I'm going to put you on the screen by yourself.
So that understand that. And sometimes, and some of you that don't understand that, some of y'all that do, won't you educate some of them that don't what I did before basketball and what I was before then, so that they will understand who I am now.
I'm glad I ain't know you before basketball. I'm glad I ain't know
I
you.
want to get out the way.
Hey, I'm putting my ears up.
Now, also on a happier note, the spring icebreaker will resume in 2021.
Okay.
Right? Here's what we're gonna do. It's gonna be the 20th year.
The what?
And I'm gonna count this year.
Count this year.
So that means it's gonna be an anniversary.
20th anniversary.
20th year for one event taking place. We held it, the event. We just didn't play the game. Schedule. I went through all that work. I'm counting it.
You got to.
So now, I'm going to give out. I'm planning to give out $5,000 to whoever win the tournament next year. See, I'm gonna fix this stuff. I know how to get it. See, I'm gonna do something. I told you guys, innovating is what I do. I'm giving out $5,000.
Wait a minute, not each division.
I might. I ain't thought of it yet. I gotta wait and see the rules. I'm giving out $5,000. At least $3,000.
No, we ain't gonna let you go down. No, it's $5,000.
No. I have to make sure and see the ruling of it, because I got to see from the NCAA, do I have to give the same for each? You follow me? Does the same division have to get the same amount? You see? Then I have to check. I'm giving that. Now, whatever it is, it's going to be more than anybody's ever gave in the history of amateur basketball. That's going to be more history. Black history.
But what if you can't give the money out?
That's why. You can. John Lucas just gave $500 out.
Okay.
At this tournament, he's been giving out for years. The MI3 has a tournament that was on the books that was for next month. They were giving out $1,000. The MI3. They were giving out $1,000 to the winner.
Hey, it's all good. Right?
So I'm going to at least triple that. You're going to get between $3,000 and $5,000.
I'm gonna push for $5,000. $5,000 just sounds so sexy.
I mean, whatever it is, it's gonna be more than what they ever got.
Jim,
so now the decision that you guys make, knowing this, if my event is canceled, you know you're getting your money back. You know the event ran well. And if you come and play in it, you can get a chance to get a sponsorship check. And that money, I'm gonna tell you another thing. That money will leave the gym with you. It ain't gonna be mailed. It ain't gonna have to go and do it. You're gonna leave the gym with that money, and you can go over to the bank on the way home and smash it.
Hold up. I'm getting me a team next year.
That's what you do. Then guess what? That's gonna be more team. Cause we go. That's how you see now. That's my way of giving back to the community. So you play, I got a chance to give your kids $3,000 to $5,000 if they win my tournament next year.
Hey, man, I can't wait to get my team together next year. Oh, I got a fire one. We gonna get that $5,000, baby. We gonna win in every division. Hey, what you go down to 9 and under? What you go down to?
The 9U.
I'm gonna get a 9. I'm gonna get an 18U2 just in case you get.
I'm not gonna do it for that young down. I'm talking about the 17U.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I'm about the high school. I'm not going down that.
Okay. I was about to go to work.
No. I'm talking about for the highest division.
No unsigned seniors teams. No unsigned senior teams.
Well, I mean, I don't care what they do. That's on them. If you get in that, you get it. But I'm only going to take 64. I'm only going to take a certain amount of teams.
Okay.
That's going to be in that division. I got to think about it. And if I think about it, I would say something like the teams that get in that particular division would probably have to pay maybe $100 more, a couple $100 more to get in. That way, I'll limit it off. To maybe no more than maybe 32 or 48 teams in that particular special division.
I'm working on mine.
That means now you know what you're getting into. You know what you're paying for, the risk versus reward. That means, like the mission, I got to put it all together. But yes, 2021, the championship team, at least of the highest division, will get $3,000 to $5,000 right on the spot. Not a cardboard, not a cardboard that's right on. No, they gonna get the envelope before they leave
Jimmy,
with the actual check in it.
Jimmy, I just want to give you applause right quick. Oh, it's on next year. Hey, guess what, y'all? People who playing AAU basketball next year, I'm looking for a few good men. Because we going to get that bread. We going to get that bread next year. Yes, sir. Well, that's what, Jimmy, I got some news.
Your parents
Jimmy.
might want you to go to Dallas.
Who want me to go to Dallas?
I'm saying you might have some parents that might want to go to Dallas.
Jimmy.
And you gotta explain to them why you should not stay at home.
Jimmy, I'm picking an all-star team just for your tournament. You know how you always talk. I'm telling y'all what I'm doing. I'm going to get the best of the best of the best, and we going to come in and, hey, it's going to be EYBL action next year, baby. Hey, folks going to come from everywhere. Now, but Jimmy, I got some news. I don't know if you knew, but I was going to tell you before the show. Guess what? We got a new coach sighting and decision happened in the last couple of days. Ronnie Courtney is going to coach Baytown Sterling.
So he ended up taking that job.
Yes.
I know he was offered the job.
Yes.
And I didn't know. I know he was offered the job.
I just found out this morning, right before the show. Just found out. Hey, guess what I'm going to cheer for? Guess what? I'm going to have to cheer. Now I got to cheer for Hightower, Yates, Shadow Creek, and Baytown Sterling.
And you understand, Baytown, we had the only black city councilman, the first and only.
My man.
On the Chop Shop,
yeah.
Charles Johnson, has been on the Chop Shop twice last year. And he's doing, that's one of the movements from him up on this umbrella. You know, he helped, was on the, when they hired and brought in Marcus Ebo at Goose Creek Memorial. He just got fired about a couple of weeks ago, but then you come back, Baytown Sterling. Let me give you the dynamics of Baytown. Baytown Sterling is one side of the track. Mm-hmm. Baytown Lee is on the other side of the track.
Which track?
So Ronnie Courtney, you go figure out which side of the track Baytown Sterling is on down in Baytown. You go figure it out yourself. That's the one that Ronnie Courtney going to. He going to the Baytown Sterling. What side of the track you think that is?
I don't know.
That's where the dollar store's at.
Okay.
And the dollar store, they got dollar stores and they got Dollar Generals. The dollar store's over there. In other words, he got all the athletes on that side.
How far is that from the city? Just
from the Beltway 8
yeah.
and I-10.
Okay.
That's pretty much about 12 minutes.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah. That's my other team. I got a new team, y'all.
Yeah. And so, once again, just tuning in, you missed the breaking news. Of course, the Chop Shop 2021, we will resume. And we will have a special division, whereas the winner will receive between $3,000 to $5,000, whoever wins. Now, like I said, I got to go and clarify. I do know you can give a prize.
Right.
But the prize has to be available for I have to get the semantics.
That's all right.
And so, but that's the thing.
We got a whole year to wait, man. But that's why I'm doing recruiting.
A whole year to promote.
I'm a recruit. I'm recruiting this year. I'm going to every game whenever they let us start back playing. Jimmy, you know what I feel bad for? Still feel bad. And Jimmy, I wanted you to finish. You must finish, but you know how I care about these young guys understanding this process. Because Chris Walker always says, Hatter, basketball players are terrible at math. They don't understand the numbers. He even told the story about behind his office, y'all. He put a big number 8 behind his office. Big number 8 back there, right? One of these days, I'm going to put an 8 behind Jimmy and I. And Jimmy. And he was just telling them, it ain't but 8 of y'all going to play. This is college. It's a Division I college. Power 5 conference college. You just better make sure you one of them 8. And then Jim and I, we be going. He got me going to the stats and always watching how many people play in a college game. What's the average of the guys come off the bench? And boy, the numbers were startling. Always around 7 or 8. So then, Jimmy, I saw, one of the young men, couple of young men, great interview. If y'all get a chance, Joe Gleason, I wish I had taped it and queued it up, but he gave an interview of the Hightower Hurricanes. I rushed through it yesterday when they got back. And the kids were so selfless. They were thinking about the other guys on their team. Some of us gonna play in college, but we got a few guys on our bench that might not play in college. Maybe if we could have played those 2 more games, maybe somebody would have wanted them. That's how they put it. You follow? I mean, these guys were thinking about their other teammates, but what they did, their math was off, because normally 8 players, you got 8 seniors, 8 of them don't receive scholarships, Jimmy. Jimmy even said, I loved it. I didn't know this until I started being on the Chop Shop, because I never thought about it. When y'all was explaining to me the average number of Division I scholarships that come out of Houston per year, the average. And it was around 28 or 30? 30?
From 28 to 32, 30. That range. Up in there.
Division I, right? And that's that's the average. Not a good year, but that's the average. That never crossed my mind when me and my son was recruiting. Because guess what? We didn't have a Chop Shop back then telling us that. I didn't know. I just didn't know. So when I see stuff like that, I would want the experts like Jimmy to explain to my young kids some of that stuff. 8 guys off your team might not go to college. And then 8 guys can go. I don't know, Jimmy. And I know you gave them some solutions last year, but I'm just talking about numbers only. What would you say? Because I want my young guys, because their moms and their dads watching around the city. I want them to know how hard it is. I'm not killing your dream, but it's possible. I go look at my son's high school team, Jimmy, and only people went to play Division I, right? All of them years. Daniel Utume, my son, and Wes Van Beck, right? Who got Division I, played the Division I basketball. And team was pretty good. Went to what, third, fourth round. Went to the Campbell Center. Yeah, got beat by the Twins. I'll never forget that day. But Jimmy, what would you tell them? I mean, with compassion, but just let them understand the numbers. I want my guys, I want all of these young men to be better mathematicians and understanding the odds against them to play Division I or college basketball, period.
I mean, the Division I plateau is extremely hard because of the transfer portal makes it simple for a coach to know who's available, as opposed to back in the days it would be word of mouth, and then you don't really know because those coaches can't really talk to that kid legally until a release. So that means back in the days, that school would get the rumor, then they would have to go, and the kid would have to, have to make it known and let his coach or his AD know. Then they would have to be willing to release him, and then they would sometimes stipulate with certain schools, we're not going to release you too. They had to dictate, they had the power to do that. as colleges. So that kind of made the process be more. It forced a black market or underground railroad for a lot of transfers. Well, nowadays, it's nothing that that school can do to block the kid from transferring. If he wants to go and put his name into the portal or her name into the transfer portal, they simply have to put it in writing and let the AD know, and that's it. It has to be redone, and they have to comply within 24 hours, and your name is out there just like that. Poof. So now, and then schools don't have to go. They still, it's easier now, more transparent. That makes it harder for you guys as the unsigned senior. For example, we mentioned the other day, remember former young man who played on the state championship, or the state championship
Caliber.
Team.
Mhm.
They made it to the championship game. Katie Tompkins, right? I think they lost at the buzzer to Allen. Kids stole the ball, hit a layup at the buzzer, right? And so, well, this Katie Tompkins kid, Christian Sholin, went to Georgia Tech.
Mhm.
Christian Sholin has asked for his release. He's in a transfer portal from Georgia Tech. Well, guess what? If the college was recruiting your son, and he's maybe 6'7" or whatever, they were flirting with him, right? Well, guess what? Christian Sholin ain't bad. He just wasn't good enough to scratch the surface and move the needle at Georgia Tech in the ACC. Mm-hmm. Christian Sholin is going to be, a lot of schools are going to be trying to get in and get this young man. So that means they can wait on you. He's 2 years removed from high school. It's a grown man. And most leagues, it take grown men collectively to win championships.
Okay.
So this is what you have to look at.
Okay.
If you don't have a Division I offer, or right now, chances are really hard unless you're willing to wait until the live period, if and when the live period will actually be able to be evaluated by the Division I college coaches. Because right now on the books, it's set for April the 19th weekend and April the 24th weekend, last 2 weekends in April. That's what it's set now. That is expected to move because the sneaker companies, who obviously have proven that they dictate a lot more with the NCAA, that now this is proof. Here's why, what I mean. Sneaker companies have collectively postponed or canceled the April legs of their circuits. Under Armour, Adidas, Nike. The live periods are the last 2 weekends of April. But the sneaker companies have canceled their circuits. One sneaker company has recommended that the kids don't engage in any play to pretty much self-isolate or whatever until further announcement. Well, here's the thing. If the sneaker companies aren't having their circuits, and the vast majority of the Division I, understand this, the Division I coaches, the vast majority of them are going to probably sign players that don't play for those. I'm not going to say that. Scratch that. But bottom line, the sneaker companies have canceled. Then why would the NCAA move the live period? Why would those kids who play for the independent teams or the non-sneaker teams or the non-sneaker events, why would they get punished for the opportunity? That would make more coaches would want to come and see them, because the deadline that the coaches can come back out, they say the deadline is set for April the 15th. It's at least until April the 15th. The first live period starts April the 17th. You think for a minute that the NCAA didn't know that when they set that April the 15th date out there? You done lost your mind. They knew what they were saying. April the 15th, and then they'll just wait and see how this thing shake out. Because some coaches will say, well, I don't even want to go to watch that event. Ain't no, the sneaker teams are the ones we're looking for. But guess what was going to happen? And what's already happened? I collaborated with Rick Nelson with an event called the Greater Houston Classic. It's the last weekend in April.
Wait a minute, talk about this?
Out of there.
Ain't nothing but a gangsta party.
Light that up, Snoop. Why you acting like that?
Yeah.
You done put two of America's most wanted.
I just gave him a little bit, Jimmy. I ain't want to give too much, but keep going.
So now this event, which has already been, it's already on the NCAA website. It's a NCAA approved live tournament. See, for those that don't have a live tournament, you can't get that. You got to be within 60 days, 90 days out. It's too late. It's already approved. So guess what's happening? What's happened over the past day and a half, Adam?
Why?
You got sneaker teams who call, say, we're coming to Houston on that weekend.
You lucky.
We're going to play in Houston that weekend because the sneaker companies ain't playing. We coming. You see how that goes? So now,
you lucky.
once the college coaches realize, because initially they're thinking that we might move this, make another live event at the end of May. That's the word. End of May, maybe the 1st of June, and another one possibly in July. So we know the power is there collectively, yes, because those same sneaker companies sponsor a lot of the colleges, the majority of the colleges that make up the NCAA, especially the Power 5 or Power 7 conferences when it comes to basketball. Understand what's going on. So now, even if the coaches, their date to come out is on that weekend, it may not even take place because now the drive or the fears of the COVID-19 will probably extend throughout April. Who knows? But as it stands, and those events may very well cancel as well. Who knows? But as it stands right now, more than a month out, 6 weeks out, those events are on the book. My point is the unsigned seniors, shine your shoes up and go and do your homework. Mm-hmm. And you can play and you get with the right, understand, either get with a team or form your own teams. And you go and you play in those live events.
So the two first live events from the sneaker teams have been canceled.
Yes.
Okay. But hold up. This right here. Let me get this right here.
Out of there.
Ain't nothing but a gangsta party.
Light that up.
This
Why you acting like that?
is going to be a live event.
It's already live.
Live
You done
event.
put two of America's most wanted in the same.
Wow. So the first live event could be played here in Houston.
Well, that's the second weekend. There'll be one taking place the first weekend.
I'll be one right before that one.
Yeah.
But I thought Coach, so 17th is one week, you the next weekend after that.
24th, yeah.
Oh, interesting.
And the Powerland Classic is the 17th through the 19th. And Rick Nelson, ironically, how about this? I'll give you some more breaking news. The Powerland Classic, for the first time, he's moved it out of Powerland. Remember, the Powerland Texas Classic?
Yeah.
It's going to be on the north side of town at MI3.
Huh.
So Rick Nelson has moved the Powerland Classic.
Okay.
You know why? Because fears from coronavirus. From the fears. What if those schools don't want you to rent their buildings that soon?
Okay.
They may not want you to rent outside third parties to go and rent their facilities that soon. So that's why you have to be smart and be on top of this stuff. So that means now, understand something, guys. And I'm just going to say it. There's a lot of people that had events on the books that may have canceled their events. They wanted to make it look like it was very sympathetic toward the kids. But the truth be told, a lot of people canceled their events. They ain't have no damn choice because the events was being held at schools and the schools were closed. Don't let people fool you with, just pay attention. If an event was on the school campus, and that event could not go on, there's a school closed. And they're going to say, "Whoa, on behalf of one of us, we love the kids." And you look over, well, Hicks don't love the kids. No, if your butt had a facility like this or had 17 courts of these types of facilities already secured, how can they get secured? Because you have to pay the deposits. Schools, normally, you ain't really got to pay until right up to the event. You rent them facilities, MI3, the gym, Rashard Lewis facility, your butt got to pay a deposit in advance. You putting half down.
Is there a reason you never used that facility?
I had the Rashard Lewis facility confirmed. I had picked it up for the icebreaker.
Oh, okay.
We knew that the other people was canceling. I was just sitting there waiting it out.
All right, okay. I just wondered because I've never been in the place. I can't tell you where it is.
So we had them, and
but I got another question. I got another question because I don't want to get off the. You know, we're supposed to be helping these kids. Michael Jordan said, "What advice would you give to a group of investors who are interested in building an operating facility south of I-10 that's comparable in size to the MI3 or the Louetta Sports Complex?" That's the Rashard Lewis complex. The area which would be targeted would be a short distance from Hobby. What advice would you give them?
Well, I would say first of all, call Cyril. I'll put you in contact with Cyril White because he built a facility a few years back that was in that exact area. And so now the building requirements have been changed and modified since our last flooding in Houston. So they're much more stricter. You want to go in that stuff and do your homework and speak with a lot of the people who have built those facilities and those who have them open. Like right now, understand, different parts of town, the property values are higher. Mm-hmm. Now I would probably go, since you're that close and you're saying near Hobby, the deal that Drive Nation has in place, right, up in Dallas, their property is an annex of the airport.
But Jimmy, we're landlocked out at our airport. Dallas wasn't landlocked. What I mean by land, it's just it's not a lot of land around Hobby. That's why they can't expand.
Okay, well, I'm saying, but
that's a good. I'm glad you said that.
I would go. Remember, John Lucas has a new facility opening up, but it's not for hire. It's a personal facility that he's going to use for a lot of his workouts.
Oh, so that is a facility. I saw it. I saw that.
And as well as going to be for his JL3 programs to operate out of, because those rental fees add up. And you're renting through the city. Lucas had a deal for the last decade and a half, last 15 years, with the city of Houston and Park and Rec. Mm-hmm. That's why he would operate out of LaFundy a lot. But still, it was a deal that would be it was economically favorable for both parties. But still, it costs at the long run. If you look back at it, so looking at the end of the year, when it's time to do taxes, how much money you can pay for rental fees? That stuff adds up.
Luther North.
Yeah, and he went to Lutheran North for a few years. So now you would go and you would talk to guys like John Lucas. It's because of the fact that his building is up under the new guidelines. You follow me? So whatever the new qualifications are and the new stuff, that means he had to go in and get his new permits.
Do you know what part of town is in?
No, I don't want to say. They keep it exclusive.
Okay, cool.
They keep it exclusive.
Well, let's not talk about it then. Don't talk about nothing you can't talk about.
So that's the question, Mike Jordan. I love that when you guys are asking
great
questions of such. But once again, this time, unsigned seniors, you have a lot of time to go to a lot of the websites for the non-Division One schools. Get that Division One. You know what? If you got Division One aspiration in your mind, then guess what? Then
Ride it out.
then that's on you. But
Yeah.
be willing to accept the consequences for the non-Division One schools because they're going to find out, hey man, coach, this kid ain't thinking about y'all right now. He trying to wait on the D1. That's how people talk to college coaches.
That's right.
And when they tell the college coach that, the college coach will back out the driveway. And so you keep big timing these smaller schools if you want to. Or you can get up and get on their websites right now, because guess what? Those college coaches are on lockdown. Some colleges have told their coaches to not even report to work. There are some coaches out there. They told the coaches, stay home with your families.
Coach,
and
I know a coach is in Dallas right now. He worked on the other side of the world.
I'm telling you, that's what a lot of campuses have told them. Look, go and don't even come to work, because that way now you just work. What we need you to do is just go and relax, watch some film, get some stuff done, get caught up on your administrative tasks, your reports, your scouts, close everything out. Then we'll move forward. Because guess what? This is the time when it was a dead period, entering a dead period anyway. Remember, so this week, what we're approaching right now, this would have been the first week going into right now. Today is Tuesday. We would have been getting ready for the first 4 end games, right? They'd have been played today.
Right.
So
they ain't got time to come. Yeah.
Right now, their normal routine isn't really cracked. A lot of them would have been at home, relaxed anyway. Then getting ready for the Final Four in a couple of weeks.
Great point.
So understand, but you can go to their websites for the non-Division One schools. You go and identify every single one in your region. Make you a big spreadsheet with the coaches' names, the email addresses, the phone numbers, and the college. And you just make it, and I mean, that should be, listen, what's the objective? You can get a free education out of the deal. So,
and Jimmy, funny you said that. I saw 2 unique tweets the other day. One from Kellen Sampson and one from Alvin Brooks III. And they were just talking about get your film and get it. I got a lot of downtime. Send it to me. Did you see those tweets? Because did you see those tweets?
Well, no, I didn't.
Gosh, man, I don't know if I put them in my notes or not, but it was some unique tweets, Jimmy. That let me look up Kellen Sampson. You could talk. I'm gonna pull it up and tell you exactly, because he don't tweet that much, so I should be able to find it. But I'm looking for it.
So meanwhile, I want to remind you guys on, speaking of scholastic news, the college board, they've canceled the SAT and ACT testing for the next 2 rounds. The next SAT, one was to take place maybe I think this weekend, and another one was to take place in the end of April. Those have been canceled. So you can go to your websites or to the collegeboard.org for more info. The SAT and ACT, and also all Macy's and Bloomington stores have closed. So remember, I kept saying, if they don't want to make no restrictions on the mall, why they make no restrictions on the mall? Well, guess what? Macy's and Bloomington are being what you said proactive, and you got reactive. The rest of the mall stores ain't saying no now. Victoria's Secret ain't closed.
How you know Victoria's Secret ain't closed?
They ain't put no memo out yet. I don't know.
Oh, I got it, Jimmy. I got one for you. Okay. It's from Kellen Sampson, the coach at U of H, one of the top teams in the country, right? About to pull it up. I don't know. Okay, here we go. He said in his tweet on 3 days ago, he said, to all prospects, college coaches are aimlessly looking at their phones and their laptops trying to kill time. Put in parentheses, I'm guilty. Find a way to get your film to us right now. We have time to watch you. We need to find you as much as you need to find us. Kellen Sampson. It's from his account. What you think about that?
I mean, and that's a great gesture. That's
Smart.
a great move.
Smart.
I mean, understand now. Understand. What's the reality that you remember? This ain't for unsigned seniors. That's for college players. I mean, high school players. Mm-hmm. So you could be a 9th grader that could be doing things. Send your stuff. Mm-hmm. Now, if you're a 12th grader, unsigned senior, thinking that he was talking to you, U of H only lose one 12th grader. Go to the school, to the website,
what you said,
look at the roster, look at the classifications of the players. Then you go look at their stats and you see who played versus who didn't play. That way you know what the rotation is like. Then you go and you see what they have coming in. What recruits they have coming in. How many? Then you know the pecking order. So if you're in 11th grade, you're in the 10th grade, the 9th grade, this college coach reached out to invite you to send his stuff. You don't need to go and pay a recruiting service to do that for you. That's why I kept telling you guys. Now they have time for you to take advantage of. You send your stuff to that staff. And know what they're going to do? I'll tell you now. They're going to send you back an invite to come to their team camp or their individual camp in the summer. Smart move for them. For their time, come on to their camp and work out. Or come on, and that's just that's business. But I love the move. Because that means open arms, and the U of H was innovative enough to not be bougie enough to say, look here, man. No, all y'all send your stuff on in. They have enough people on their staff to look through a lot of those stuff. Trust me, that Kellen Sampson ain't about to look at all of them videos. They got enough in their support staff. He gonna get some little emails. He'll look at your height. When you say, well, how tall you are, what class you are, Bilal might get that email. He might forward that thing over to Bilal, or you forward over to the other young man. What's my young fella? I can't think with the hair. The one that forward over to him. Might forward some to Hollis Price.
What about transfers? Could they do it?
Yes, transfers can do it.
Okay.
Absolutely. But you don't need. That's the thing about, remember the Wizard of Oz, the whole theme is being presented right in front of you now. You don't really need people to do what you're capable of doing yourself. You're capable of promoting yourself, marketing yourself. Now, however, you need somebody to go and influence and encourage that coach to look at your video or pay attention to your marketing efforts. That's what you may need.
Interesting.
That's a big difference. Big difference. That's the key. That's for example, if you called those coaches, you can go and call U of H right now. Go call Alvin Brooks right now, and you can call him he's not likely to answer your phone call. But there's somebody that could go and say, hey, Brooks, you're going to get a call from a phone number, going to start. The first 3 numbers going to be 1, 2, 3. And the cell number, if they call you, man, answer that call. That's the lady. She good people, good friend of mine. Answer, give her a call. Answer for me. And she's looking for some direction. You see, you call that coach tomorrow, guess what he's likely to do? If he's on the phone, he could be on the phone with his boss. Might not answer. But if he don't, guess what he's going to do? He's going to call you right back. See, that's the power of politics. Now, that's the part when it's saying, when you need favor, unless your talents are extremely great or extremely above average, then your play speaks for itself. Otherwise, everybody needs a little help along the way. Everybody's gonna need somebody to get out behind the car and help give it a push while you roll it down the hill and try to get it started.
Jimmy, I want to thank Michael Jordan because Michael Jordan found AB. He did it also because I wanted to give him credit also. Highlight films are resumes. This is what Aaron Brooks III from Baylor. He said highlight films are resumes for potential student athletes. He said, here are a few tips from your highlight film. This is what he said that night. Then he said, sending a film to college coaches is like sending, okay, here are a few tips. Personalize the email to the college coach name. For example, Coach Aaron Brooks III. He said, no explicit lyrics. And Jimmy, if I hear one more explicit lyric, somebody sending a highlight tape, and I hear all that cussing, I promise you, I delete it. So let me repeat that again. When coaches, I hear, even when I hear it, I delete it. This is a college coach telling. Include full name, classification, height, high school, AAU program, coach's name, and social media names. You know how people always talk about, AAU programs don't matter? A college coach just telling you, put your AAU program on there. You know how people talk about, it don't matter who you play for. Okay.
Yeah, it do.
Okay.
It does.
Okay, but I'm just telling. Okay, here's another one. Then I'm gonna leave it to you. Jersey, number and color of jersey, because they don't want to figure out who you are. 4 games available are ready to send. Video of teachers, teammates, coaches, or administrators vouching for your character and work ethic. Bingo!
It's a lot of work. That's what I'm saying. Input equals output. So that means you're not willing, but if you do that work, you're only doing it one time.
Jimmy, I got one for you, another one. He said limit the slow motion walking around and layup line highlights. Limit that. Don't want that mess. Have your test scores and GPA ready to share. Yours truly, Coach Alvin Brooks. Awesome letter for these 2 young coaches. Let me tell you something, Jimmy. It's not a coincidence that these 2 young men right here, we just got through talking about, Kellen Sampson, Alvin Brooks III. It's not a coincidence that they had to speak, were invited to the Young Coach Leadership Conference at the last Final Four, Jimmy. No coincidence these 2 guys were fast-tracked and put in the leadership program. No coincidence.
And Jay Lucas was in there as well.
Jay Lucas too. But these are 2 guys, I'm glad you mentioned Jay, but these are 2 guys that wrote these, these letters or these tweets to these young men.
And that's here's the thing. So these mixtapes.
Okay.
If a player gets one, who do you think is paying for it? The parent.
The parent, okay.
In most cases, it's the parent. So if the parent is paying for it, then the parent has to be under the understanding of what to request and what not to request. From what I understand, a lot of them people, if you tell them what song you want, they'll put that song up under your mixtape. If you don't, they're gonna put what they want. Or they're gonna put what the kid wants. And the kid gonna pick a song that will be attractive to his peers. Because that makes the video fly when he's in class, showing somebody next to him. Hey, check me out.
Man, look who I had up under there. I had the baby. All of them guys.
So I understand that component. But if you the parent, you paying for it. You need to request. There's a lot of, put some Dennis Elvis up under that thing. Don't look any further or something. That trust me.
Instrumental, Jimmy. Instrumental. Like you and Rick. Hold up.
No, I'm saying the instrumental version.
Check
don't
this
look
out.
any.
Ain't nothing but against the party.
Like that up, Slim. Why you acting like that?
There you go.
You done put two of America's.
Hey, all you can go with
Jim,
that.
they say you done put two America's Most Wanted on the same label. I like that. I like that. I like that. Two of Houston's two of Houston's most admired.
Most wanted.
Because I had to watch what I say around you. But girl, I'm talking about, but Robert, you put Mike. I said, all right, I let him have that. I let him have that. But it was tongue in cheek. But Jimmy, I got another one for you though. Andy Farr. I love Andy Farr. You know I always mess with Farr, but this is one of my favorite Farr tweets. I'm gonna start giving him. You know we got some Hickism. I'm gonna start giving him a Farbism. Jimmy. Oh, Farr just said Marcus Williams decommitted. Jimmy, I got something for you.
Well, he decommitted because the head coach resigned.
Okay.
At Northern Colorado. And so I figured that was going to be forthcoming. The head coach at Northern Colorado had resigned. So as a result, Marcus Williams from Dickinson High School has, he signed a letter of intent.
Okay. So
I mean, which they were releasing whenever a coach goes in that situation. That ain't no problem at all.
Hey.
So he's going to be a hot commodity for a lot of teams out there. And based on what his body of work, and he has enough scholastic. He has enough. That's the thing. Some players can get that scholarship with their in high school, but you get people's attention, and your odds are greater during the grassroots season because collectively you have the ability to play in front of more coaches per game. Remember that. How many coaches per game are seeing you at the 17U level? I'm not talking about nothing but under the 17U level. So that means we have, as we just have one to
subtract
from this local class.
But some will be added, Jimmy. Me just listening around and hearing people saying things. Something might happen with that kid. Somebody else. Oh, Alvin Brooks on here. Coach, I just talked about you. I'm glad you weren't on there when I was talking about you. But it was a good thing. But, Coach, you remember I said I don't always agree with Farr, but I like this. He said, and I want to hear what you said. Boy, we overtime, but we owe it to him because I apologize for the mess ups. My fault. These kids had 4 years and 3 summers. Don't let anyone give y'all that excuse to give to your kid. These coaches can still contact you. Discovery is not happening right now for 2020.
Read that again.
All right. And Farr, be willing to chime in immediately, Farr, because I'm talking about you. These kids, Jimmy, has had 4 years and 3 summers.
Mm-hmm.
Don't let anyone give y'all that excuse to give to your kids.
Which excuse?
I don't know, Farr. That's why help me, Farr. Trying to read this stuff. These coaches can still contact you. Discovery is not happening right now for 2020. In other words, you got a body of work already. You had 4 years and 3 summers. Okay? Don't let anyone give y'all an excuse to give to your kids. In other words, Bob, help me. You're not typing fast enough. He said, these coaches can still contact you. Discovery is not happening right. And all I can say is the kids has put in 4 years of body of work, 3 summers. These seniors right now, 2020. Okay? Bob, I'm asking you to help me. You didn't put in all this work. If you ain't got it now, he said these coaches can still contact you. I don't know what he mean by that. But he said discovery is not happening right now. In other words, discovery means somebody just finding out right now about you.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that's with social media and all this stuff, man. It just a lot of people just like, and it's going. You know what? The way that this system is built, for every piece of wisdom, there's going to be 5 fools. You know, so you just the numbers, you know, the masses are going to always be in the fools in this. Everybody going to play the fool sometime in this stuff. And people going to, and that's the thing, it's baffling. The numbers just don't add up, but you're going to go and risk an education just to try to prove somebody wrong, meaning that just to prove that you can go to a school that somebody didn't think that you could go to. You just want to go there. Now, you get there and don't play. Then the coach, you know, then it becomes something else. You transfer, go somewhere else, then it becomes something else. You're chasing new and miss out on the whole college experience. And the objective is, because guess what nowadays? It don't matter where you play it. You putting up numbers, they got a spot for you overseas. You can play, you can earn a check.
Yeah.
You got a resume.
You got a resume.
College.
Yeah.
It don't matter what college you at.
They know you.
I'm looking right now. I went down to Rio Grande Valley. You ain't heard Jordan Jackson's name since he left St. Pius High School. He went to Texas Tech, couldn't play that much. That's Cheryl Swoop's son I'm talking about.
Right.
He had at UT Rio Grande Valley. He gonna play somewhere overseas next year. He gonna play overseas somewhere. Ain't gonna make him a check.
Oh, okay. Jimmy, thank you, Kenneth Gamble, because Anthony Favre, I don't know what the heck he's doing. He must not be listening. Kenneth Gamble said, somebody on the feed said 2020 kids have suffered. He said parents are looking for excuses to stop blaming Rona. Jimmy, you know what? Black folks, they gonna give a nickname. They don't call, Jimmy, my folks in Memphis, they don't call it coronavirus or COVID-19. They got that Rona. That Rona, man. But see how we are. But that was unique. But now I understand what they're talking about. Jimmy, talk to that for me.
I mean, it's.
But Jimmy,
everybody want to be, realize.
The cap on what you just said. I told my son the other day, right? I said, man, it don't matter how smart you are in a room full of stupid ass people. Don't go in there. You are the only liability in the room. So y'all can take that. It don't matter how smart you are, Jimmy, if you're in a room full of stupid people. Wow. Profane. A wise man told me that. Jimmy, get out of that room. Hey, in other words, because whatever you say to them, not how smart. Einstein. They got something crazy to say. But now, what was you saying about these kids? It made me think about it when you said that about, some of these people don't know. And you can't blame the coronavirus on now I'm getting it, on the 2020 kids who don't get it. Because these kids had a 4-year school year and a 3-year summer basketball. Thank you, Fobbs. I think that's great.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people, they try to make it like these 2020s, they're gonna be hurting.
Oh, no. I haven't heard that.
No,
I haven't heard that.
Let me tell you something. Them non-Division I schools, this just what they needed. They know the ones. They know. Now what it does, it helps shrink the gap for them to go. Now they can go on and start making their move. Because they don't have the economics to be chasing you all around. They know the unsigned seniors. Why do you think they don't know about y'all? So guess what? You go and you say, well, Think about this, say Houston alone. You got little Jeffrey Day make the mixtapes, and he's been writing great prep hoops, doing great. You get Marcus Sloan, another young fella, come on up. Came out of high school, Eisenhower High School, class 2001, went to TCU, went overseas, had a super career. Come on, now he's in the evaluating scouting service business, doing great. So then you have Doug Jones out here watching the games, beating the streets. You guys are, you talk to him, you answer your calls, and he talk to you all the time, collecting data, intel, talking to college coaches daily. Not to mention every summer coach. In March, whether you know it or not, that's when the college coaches are calling the summer coaches to verify their schedules for the circuit. That's when the college coaches are talking to the summer coaches and the grassroots coaches. And you know what that grassroots coaches are saying to a lot of those college coaches? Hey, coach, remember old so-and-so that played for me last year? He's still unsigned. And coach might say, what, he is? That's what's going on. So watch how, if you understand, if you try to badmouth that last summer coach, there are references that some colleges may use to check with them, to ask them, is everything you're saying about them true? What's going on? Because if you listen to everything and everything you just emailed in your packet makes it too good to be true. So let me call this summer coach. And if you don't put that summer coach on there, that coach, if you're in a city, they're going to call one of the scouting services that they subscribe to validate. And they're going to see, well, you didn't put this last summer coach, but you put the summer coach you played for in the 9th grade. You didn't put the 17U summer coach. They know something must have happened. And guess what? If that's the case, I would ask the college coaches, how would y'all want those parents to address that issue? If there's a situation where as a parent, you ask them the last summer grassroots team they played for, put it in your basketball resume. But if they are no longer on speaking terms, that coach or that program might have been accused of mishandling the money, may have been accused of doing something, incidental or criminal, and they don't speak no more. So what would you want that parent to do in that resume of their sons or daughters if they are no longer on speaking terms or an ally of that particular previous grassroots coach? That's only my question. I can't speak for that because times change. Because I know eventually if they call me, I'm going to explain to them, hey man, that coach, that Palmer, I do the same for parents. A lot of coaches don't understand. They say, well, man, I don't understand, the mom and the dad, they haven't been in the Houston like coaches, they don't really know what's going on. They first ask, who do we call? Well, here's what you do. Here's the mama's number. Here's the dad number. They don't live together. They get along okay. But then there's some cases with some parents, you better not say the dad name to the mama. I'm telling you, coach, don't do it. Don't tell the mama that you met the daddy at Papa Do's last time you was in town. Don't do it, coach.
Hello.
Understand, that type of intel, that's some of the stuff that the college coaches pay the scouting service for. Whatever they can get that can make their job easier in closing the deal. Some scouting services are going to go beyond the Call of Duty. They're going to go in and get in deep, and they'll be working for the coach. But then I advise you young people out there, trust me, the word will always get out. You can't hide it if you're working with a coach in the recruiting of another player. I can guarantee you that much. You can't get it out. You can't hide it. Because you know why? Number 2 in the race, the school that finished number 2, ain't no runners up in this stuff. Everybody lose. There's one winner. and everybody is runners up. If you want to speak that, you almost got. So therefore, the school that thought they was going to get him, that didn't get him, remember, they know most of the story as well. They got his transcripts. They know the mom and daddy situation. They know if the kid got a baby on the way. They know that the kid might be gang related. They know that too, because they almost got him. You're not thinking, then you worry about wonder how rumors or how your news info gets spread. Because if the number 2 or the runners up is bitter, they ain't no problem telling nobody else while they drinking a cold. Man, you know what? We ain't want him anyway, man. He was this, you know what? He just had got a case, he's on parole for this. They'll tell it all. They do it because you know why? Sometimes people get bitter when they lose. That's just the nature of the beast. So you'd be surprised how the conversations go with the college go. You understand? There are many college coaches that used to be high school coaches. And there are many high school coaches right now today in this city, in Greater Houston, that was college coaches at the Division I level. Do you guys not understand that? So it don't take a special dot on your forehead once you become a college coach. It don't. They are regular people that have regular relationships. Those relationships don't die or expire just because they're a Division I coach. You see, David Peavy, the head coach of Duncanville High School, he was a head coach, right? In Houston. Wasn't he at Hightower?
Yeah.
He was DJ Augustine's coach.
Then he was at.
Then he went to SFA.
Yeah.
He was a Division I college coach.
Then he came back at Decaney.
Well, he went to Austin area, didn't come to Decaney, then went up there. Mm-hmm. He was a college coach. Over at Thurgood Marshall High School, a lot of people out there bitter. James Bailey. Mm-hmm. Coach Bailey was a Division I coach at Boise State. Division I coach.
That's right.
So that means he gets there. Does he all of a sudden now, since you're a high school coach, now you don't know nothing. You don't. So does he not know what a Division I coach is supposed to look like?
That's a good point. That's a good point. That's a good point.
So now he doesn't know what he's talking about, but he got a job yesterday. So all of a sudden, all of his knowledge is gone. So now he gets around kids that really don't get it, and he's trying to mold them, to morph them into Division I and explain to them, you ain't there yet. So now he's hating. And he's hating and you don't want to play for him.
And Nolan Hamilton said something about Jimmy. I think the fact that kids jump around during summer so much.
Well, I mean, it's different. Every story is different.
Every story. I promise you. Every story.
There's a lot of programs that's ran so shabby.
Yes.
That yes. And once you pull up the rug and look below the floor mat, the doormat, you be like, oh hell, why was you there?
It's some stories we refuse to tell because it's a few stories that let me tell you something, man. It's unique, man. It's just crazy. So what else you got, boss? Before we get out of here today.
Yeah, man. Let me see. We put the time on that so they know. That way, don't put the time. We got 3 minutes. We took y'all a whole extra hour. 3 minutes.
We're gonna get okay. I'm
gonna take y'all ass to 3, and hey, that's all for me. But anyway, lastly, Major League Baseball may cancel the All-Star game. No, it takes place in the summer. Major League Baseball may cancel the All-Star game. Guess where the All-Star game is to be held this year? But Major League Baseball. In Los Angeles. Dodger Stadium. LA don't want none of that stuff coming over there. California is canceled. A lot of I understand. You know, this is guys. It's going to be a while before life
It's,
is
Jimmy,
is
I
is
told you,
normal
it's a
for a
new
lot of.
normal. And
I'm just
people might not know what I meant by that because some people might. This just we got to understand, man. It's just it's and it's temporary. But Jimmy, maybe Jimmy, guess what? Maybe you get closer to your people at the house. You know, everybody be gone all the time. You know, maybe you get closer to your mate. Maybe you get closer because there ain't nobody there but you and doing you and them. Maybe you get closer to your kids. It's crazy, man. It just it's I just it's so many things that I need to do now that we can't do.
And I'm reading Clarence Harris say that's sad Jimmy don't mention the dad. So now I give my shout out to Shantae Jahari Long's mom. She literally the only parent I saw in the last year to give the dad a shout out to, meaning the dad that's divorced from the mom. Um, guys, I mean, I didn't make this stuff up. I'm just telling you what's transparent out there. A lot of divorced couples. A lot of times there are a lot of parents out there that do, but the vast majority of the mom, you know, ain't mentioning the dad like in that capacity. They're more small to those coaches, and the coaches don't really care. They just want to know what's going on, so they know how to make this thing work, so they can get the deal closed. Meaning that, put it like this: I've seen schools lose the recruit because they went to the one parent to schedule the official visit, and the other parent didn't get the call. Coach didn't realize that one parent might have had the power, but the other parent might have had the influence over the kid. So I mean, the mom might have had the power to get him on this visit. Let's go on this visit. We're gonna go out there and take, me and my baby. But the daddy might have had the influence and still had the kid ear to a certain degree, and to let that kid know why he shouldn't have go to that particular school because you tried to box me out. And coaches understand, the more intel they get, the more of an informed decision that these college coaches can get. They are not on the streets in your city. They only know from the intel that they have. There are a lot of times, in most cases, what prolongs the situation is that people are providing false intel. First, starting with the recruit, telling them that the kid's 6'2" when he ain't but 5'11", 5'10". That can mess a coach off. Spending this money coming to see a kid and you done lied on his height. Didn't know what you say? Well, hell, everybody else did it. But that's okay, huh? That's cool. That's cool for you to do. And so that's
it, Jimmy. I just got, I was thinking about as you were talking, and I know the feed, something going on, but it'll probably be corrected tomorrow. It's the first time it's ever happened. But you know what I learned, Jimmy, in my life, just thinking about what we're talking about right now, as humans, and I'm gonna end with this one, Jimmy. As humans, we can train only three things.